And so, notebook notes. This was going to be my notebook for season 5, but God is just having his way. And that's the whole goal, is for God to have his way. And I was just thinking about how clever God is. He's so smart. You know, he is the only wise God. And so, what don't seem like success to us, to people, is success to God. You know, it's more than we ever know. You know, and that's because one soul got saved, and the devil lost one. So, you know, and we just thank God for being here. You know, we thank God for Jesus. So this notebook that I have, it was for season 5, like I started to share, and you know, I have plans, and then it's God's plan, and so I choose God's plan. You know, and this was going to be for season 5, but season 4 is still here, and it's going to continue until the Lord say otherwise. Because at the end of the day, it begins with for the glory of God, and it's going to end for the glory of God. And I pray for eternity. So, you know, I want God to just have his way in my life and in all of our lives, really. Whether good or bad, you know, the good or evil, you know. And so we're just going to trust God for this Bible study. You know, we're going to trust God. And so here we go. Let me put my glass back on. Oh, Lord have mercy. I should have been wiping the lenses off. My little thing fell off here. So just ignore that. I'm going to put it back on. I'm just taking my time doing it. I'm hopefully do it today. I should have been did it, to be honest. The little thing right here fell off. It been fell off, and I got the equipment to put it back on. I just got to do it. Anyways. So, you know, thank God for Jesus, my life. Just so grateful to be here again. So we just going to open up the Word of God and see what it says. The Word. I know that in the notebooks, it says, without fear and in faith. That's the title of it, without fear and in faith. And let me just say that before I started this Bible study, when I was just, you know, doing just some light work around the house, my apartment, my place, you know, I just started thinking about how, you know, this song came to me, "Don't Play With Me," that song. And so God don't want us to, you know, I was just thinking how we don't play games. Christians don't. Not real Christians. We don't play games. You know, we about our Father's business. That's what Jesus said. You know, and business. And, you know, it's not a game to, you know, I don't play spiritual games or eternity games with my soul. Especially when my soul is at stake concerning punishment for eternity. So, you know, we as Christians don't play games with demons and with Satan and with wickedness and evil. And so I'm praying, you know, even me, I'm praying. I have to choose wisely and, you know, don't take no sin lightly. And so I'm praying and asking God to help me with those things. I want to walk in wisdom in all things. You know, I'm not saying being overly righteous, that you're no earthly good. I'm saying that we ain't trying to play with wickedness and sin either. Okay? God bless you. So, the notebook says, it starts off with, without fear and in faith. That's what it says. The kingdom of righteousness. Isaiah 32. So we're going to turn to Isaiah 32 and see what that says. It's already on Psalms. This right here is the Life Application Bible. The Life Application Study Bible. I haven't studied in this Bible for some time. I'm using the King James Version, and now I've actually started. I got my Fire Bible, and that's my favorite Bible, the King James Version, and the NIV. So I'm basically KJV and NIV messages. I was entertained by the message. I still read certain parts, but when it says the word luck, I don't. That kind of threw me off a little bit, so I don't really focus on that translation no more. You can't play with the Bible. You can't do it. So, you know, God don't operate in luck. So, you know, he's all powerful. That means that there's not no power that he lacks. There's not no weapon that he can't destroy. There's not one enemy that he can't destroy. So he has the power and the tools and whatever it takes to defeat his opposition. This is why he's undefeated. This is why he's the beginning and the ending, the first and the last. He's Alpha and Omega. He was there in the beginning, and he's gonna be there in the end. You know, he's undefeated. He can't be killed. You can't take over the spirit of the living God. And so, you know, as Satan, he's still roaming the earth, walking the earth, crawling on his belly, trying to kill, steal, and destroy.